Hey folks, this is Rainer here from tradingwithrainer.com. So, hope you guys are enjoying your weekend, spending time with your loved ones. Alright, so this week is a little interesting because of my forex analysis. I'd like to go through with you 3 losing trades I had this week. Alright, that's right, you heard me right. 3 back-to-back losing trades for the week. So, let's analyze on the trades that I took and what we can actually learn behind them. So, first trade I took was on this dollar yen, right? So, I've really highlighted the price actually making lower highs. You can see here. Okay, from a high here, another lower high here, another one over here. So it's being supported by the 1-1 level over here. So I actually went long on this pin bar over here, this one here, right? And needless to say, within 2 candles, I was stopped out. So that is the first loss I had this week. Anything I could actually improve on? I would say no, because this setup was a typical setup that I would usually take, and it happens to be just a typical loss that we as traders will incur along the way. Because let's face it, there's no such thing as a 100% win ratio, right? We'll face losses along the way, and if you ask me, alright, my win-loss ratio is about 50%, right? So I win half the time and I lose half the time, and usually the risk reward more than make up for my losses. Thus, you should come out positive if you actually follow your rules religiously. So I got stopped out of the trade. So yep, that's for the first loss I had, which is on the dollar yen. However, if you are sharp enough within the next couple candles, you have another bullish pin bar to re-enter long again. So what would most traders do? They'll probably think about their earlier losses. They will have their fear in them, and they may actually miss out on this trade, right? They may hesitate to pull the trigger. Thus, they may or may not actually relong this pair. So that's something that we as traders are, always have to be adaptable and watch what the market is doing at any one moment, right? So that's my first loss, the dollar yen. Let's look at my second loss. So the second loss, if I'm not wrong, is the Euro Aussie. Okay, so what happened was on the 4-hour chart, I zoom out a little, right? We have this previous resistance, turn support over here. So yep, we had this previous support, now turn resistance, right? So the signal to end short was actually this pin bar over here. So as you can see, that price did traded lower for a while before rallying up higher and stopping me out. So again, it's another trade that had a loss, and if you ask me what I could have done better, I would say there's nothing actually, because I was actually anticipating for price to actually retest this low over here before I would take half profits. But it didn't occur, so I took the loss and quickly got out of this trade. So yep, this is my second loss for the week. And let's look at another loss I had this week, which is actually on the Canadian Swiss franc. So let's see. Canadian Swiss franc daily chart. Yeah, here you go. So as you can see, the 82 level was the resistance I highlighted. Tested once, right? So I'm barely tested over here, and right now I tested the third time, giving me a pin bar to short, right? Rejection at the 82 level, so I took a shot, and needless to say, last Friday I got stopped out on this candle as well. So yep, 3 losses for this week. So this is something that I would say that it's very common as something very common to actually encounter in your trading career, because I can actually be frank with you that most forex educators out there will not even post their losses. They only post their wins, and even if they do the post their losses, it's probably like they show you like 9 wins and probably 1 loss, which is really, really, I would say, unrealistic in the world of trading, right? Because you are looking at a 90% hit rate, right? So I would say that's quite unrealistic if you ask me. So yep, these are actually the losses I incurred for this week, and I'm actually proud to show them to you guys, because I would say that only through our losses do we learn that how we can improve as traders. So what would most new traders encounter is that if they suffered a feat of losses, they probably think that their system is not working, their trading strategy is not viable, and that's when they move on to another trading strategy. So this is what a typical life cycle of a trader looks like. Alright, you have a strategy, alright, a strategy. So maybe starting it works for a while, right? You have maybe say 3 or 4 winning trades. Then you think, wow, you're the king of the world. Nothing can stop you. You'll be a millionaire in 2 years' time. What happened next is that you encountered a series of losses, right? For example, this week I encountered 3 losses. 3 losses. Then they start to rethink that, hey, maybe perhaps the strategy is not working, the market has changed, or they feel that uncomfortable and they move on to another strategy, right? Another strategy. So they abandon their old strategy and look for a new strategy. Then similarly after this, what happened? They encounter back to this stage where they have 3 or 4 wins, lead to losses, and they look for another strategy. So this vicious cycle just keep going round and round and round until traders themselves kind of realize that, hey, we've been running in circles for the last how much time has passed, like the last few years, and they kind of realize that it's not really so much about the strategy, but we as a trader ourselves, our psychological makeup and our emotions. That's what is actually the biggest hurdle to new traders, I feel. All right. So yep, that's actually the lesson behind this week that I would like to share with you guys. All right. So that's for my losses. That's for my I would say we new traders running circles over and over again. So without further ado, let's move on to a couple of setups that I'm looking at this coming week. All right. So some setups I'm looking at. Okay, let's look at the euro pound. Euro pound daily chart. Right. Let's look at the weekly chart for a bigger macro picture. You can see that this pair has actually been breaking new lows. Right. First low was here. Price took out the low, rallied higher. Then it came down lower, took out this low, and rallied higher. Then what happened next was another low was here, was again taken out here, and rallied higher. So right now, price just broke this low over here, and I would anticipate another rally in the coming days for us to short. So where would I short? Looking at the daily chart, alright, here is a level where I'll be keen to short. Because looking at historical price action, you see that price always retest the previous support, now turn resistance. So this level over here would be a level I'm watching at in the coming week. So for those of you who want to mark out, it's 81.80 level is a level that I'll be watching for the euro pound to short. Right, so that's for the euro pound. Another pair we'll look at is actually the New Zealand dollar. Let's see, New Zealand dollar over here. All right, so basically you look out the macro picture, the New Zealand dollar, it has been supported by this 85 level. All right, previous resistance broke out, test the level once, rallied higher, retest the level, rallied higher, retest the level, rallied higher, and it's about to retest for the 1, 2, 3, fourth time. Alright, so usually when price start to retest this many times, I'll start to be a little cautious because that's a level that the whole world is watching. And what usually could happen is that price could actually dive through the level before rally up higher. Alright, so taking out the stops that is below this level. So I will not place a limit buy order just yet, but rather I will anticipate either a bullish reversal pattern at the 85 level, or I'll watch a fake out of this level right before rallying higher, somewhat like a V pattern. So these are the two things that I'll look out for on the New Zealand dollar. And the last pair I'll be looking at this week is oil. Alright, let's look at oil. So this is oil, the daily chart. You zoom out a little, you can see that this pair is actually testing a significant level, which is at the 104.50. Right over here, almost tested once, second time, almost tested the third time, and right now price seems to about to retest this level once again. So again, I'll wait for a bearish price action signal over here before I look to short oil again. So yep, that's all I have for you guys this week. I hope you guys understand the losses that I had incurred this week and how it actually affect our development as a trader, and the couple of setups that I've just posted. I hope you guys find it useful as well. So with that, I wish you good luck and good trading. Thank you.